Hi all, welcome to Air Cargo Update. This is Mohammed Irshad. We are at Breakbulk Middle East event today, taking place at World Trade Center, Dubai. Today we have two important personalities. One is the president of NAFL, National Association of Logistics and Freight. Along with that we have Gopal R. He is a global leader of Supply Chain and Logistic Advisory. So we will have an important session with them today. So let's begin our session with Ms. Nadia Abdulaziz. Welcome to our show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, what I was going to ask is, how does NAFL work in terms of the industry perspective?
Okay. First and foremost, now NAFL has completed over 30 years in the UAE. We are a chapter of a global organization called FIATA, which works in 150 countries. It's a non-government, non-profit organization, which means we focus on the benefit of the community, of the industry. How do we work? We work with our members, closely with our members. We work very closely with the federal UAE government offices, stakeholders related to the industry, public, private sector, as well as universities. And the main objective is to raise the standard in the country through professional trainings, networkings, collaborations, and much more. And we keep updating this according to also what is happening in the country's strategy. We are also in sync with that. So the country is looking at digitalisation, innovation. We work closely with all the latest IT companies, the latest robotic companies, to introduce to our members the latest in the industry and what's happening in the UAE, so that the private sector also can follow the footsteps that will benefit the industry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all know that there was a major effect from the pandemic to the human lives, and as well of all kind of industries like aviation industry, be it cargo industry, or even in the medical sector. What role did NAFL have, particularly in those times, to support its members to overcome the issues what the cargo industry or the logistic industry, especially the freight and logistic industry, had experienced?
Well, as NAFL and any association during the pandemic, as a sector, our members played a very pivotal role to ensure goods, vaccines are brought into the country, stored, re-exported. So the logistics sector had a really very important, crucial role to play during the pandemic towards the community and towards many people living around our country, not only to the UAE. More than 75 countries were supported by the UAE logistics sector through transshipments and storage of vaccines, medications, medical equipment, etc. So from that role, the members played a very pivotal role, and we as an association, we encourage that. We try to spread the word. Our industry did not shut down during the pandemic. In fact, we were one of the vital industries that was open during the shutdown. And in terms of support to our members, we continue to have our office. We continue to have our support in terms of staffing, legal consultancy, trainings, networking events, collaboration with the government entities to support our community and communities around us, and to support our members if they have anything stuck, if there was any issues at the beginning of the shutdown. We worked very closely and we got very good support from the port, from the airport authorities, from the national airlines across the UAE to support the freight industry also.
So that was a great thing to be hear from you, because many people have been once the pandemic hit, many offices were closed. It's great that you still were holding the breath and supporting the members, which was much needed in those times. So my next question is to Mr. Gopal R. What are the key trends and the changes that the freight and logistic industry is facing now, or you can explain more about it?
So in terms of key trends, today, one of the important trend that is happening in a post-COVID environment is that digitization of logistics services is accelerating. Digitization existed even before COVID, but what had happened is that the pace at which it is necessary is actually changing very fast. And also, if you see that the profile of the logistics services is also changing. Today, there is a lot more need, for example, for food logistics, healthcare logistics in a post-pandemic environment, and also some of the things like, for example, port facilities. There is need for smart ports. So essentially, you would see that a lot of automation and digitization is moving the business from a reactive to proactive and predictive way of doing business.
Thank you, Mr. Gopal, for sharing very vital, important information with us. Further, Ms. Nadia, my question is there any initiative that the NAFL has taken up for implementing in near future, or maybe recently it has taken already in the market or in the industry, which can help your members to get into the business?
Well, in terms of initiatives, we do connect them to a lot of the financial companies, insurance companies, free zones, licensing authorities to support anybody who's starting up in the industry. We will be doing a lot of trainings for the youngsters also, or people who are interested to set up the logistic company. We will give them a brief on how the business is, how to run it. Yes. The recent thing that I'm working on is introducing one of the big regional players, a fintech company, to financially support SMEs across the board, logistics and non-logistics, but this is something that I will be introducing soon with one of the reputable companies, along with some of the banks who have joined on board with this fintech. Other things is that we're going to be training a lot of UAE nationals. We've supported some of the non-nationals to do the internship, to get educated in the industry or complete their degree by an internship. Now, in sync with the UAE's Emiratization policy, yes, we will be focusing more and more on educating and training UAE nationals and subsidizing a lot of the courses or offering scholarships for UAE nationals into certain certified courses that we offer. And we've got a long range of courses, short, long-term, depending on their requirement and market requirement, employer requirement. We will be working hand in hand on that. And our members will be also working and supporting this initiative by extending the internship opportunity and hands-on. Knowledge is different. Theory is good, but hands-on is always an additional value. And I feel, from my own perspective, when I was a student, that's the most place where I learned a lot. Yes, the education needs to be there. The background will definitely help. And then followed by actual on-job training.
When coming to the part of ensuring the growth and stability of logistic and the freight, how does NAFL works with the government agencies and the industry associations and the stakeholders, basically?
So to support our members' business, if there are industry issues, because we are considered the voice of the freight forwarding industry in the UAE, so we connect them. For example, there is an issue with the port or customs, for example, and let's say Dubai or any other emirate, we take the industry issue, we bring it up to the government offices and we discuss it and we give them the reports that we have. What are these issues, and we try to work together and looking at solutions or how the government can support the industry players. We also work with associations. You have DSAA, for example, the Dubai Shipping Agents Association, which has a majority of the shipping lines, IATA. So we collaborate because our members buy space on their vessels. So we try to get them together. We collaborate between associations. We work also with the government office on opportunities, not only on bottlenecks. So if we feel there is an opportunity, untapped opportunity, we do work on that. If there are delegations from the freight industry visiting, they connect with us. We introduce them to our members and to some of the government offices, the free zones, etc., to support the industry overall, not only our members, but in general. Okay.
Just wanted to know from Mr. Gopal that we have changing technologies coming from recent years. As you said before, it started from the pre-pandemic era. Now in the post-pandemic era, from past 2 to 3 years, the technology is rapidly building its space in entire industry. So how do you think the technology is changing? How do you think the industries like freight and logistic will comply with these technology changes while they are transporting things and managing all these kind of stuffs?
So, interesting question, because I've been on the other side of the fence as a logistics service provider. Back then, when you want to put a technology product into the deal, it used to cost a couple hundreds. So even if you put 10 licenses, it will be like $1 million or $2 million. So it increases the cost of doing business or the cost of logistics services. Today, that same offering is available as a SaaS product, software as a service product. And even more, for example, today with cloud and the non-necessity for fixed infrastructure and shared basis is actually bringing down the cost of the technology. So which means essentially when you are looking at savings in terms of transportation cost or storage cost or logistics cost, you can achieve that cost in technology, by actually having a technology solution which used to cost a few $100,000. Today you can potentially get that in a few $100 on a subscription basis per month, which will greatly reduce and the cost overall and enable companies to be in a position to adopt the technology. So today you don't have to move step by step on technology. You can evaluate whichever is the best technology and take it at the same price, the same way you do with the mobile phones today, right? The price point remains the same. Every year there are changes and something else is replacing that. So that's what is the advantage of the technology, and I would seriously encourage any of the logistics transportation companies which have had a poor experience with technology in the past should seriously look at technology and explore the new ways of working with technology.
So lastly, I want to ask you that what is your advice for the individuals who are new to the field, new to the industry, and they are looking to build a career in the freight and logistics services?
So I think if for people who are new to the business, of course historically, if you see, the logistics industry was not a very attractive business. Today, because the advent of technology, it is even more attractive than any of the novel businesses, I would say. So today, for example, in this event, if you just walk across, I saw a robot dancing in another corner, and there was another place where they were actually having some kind of a delivery robot. So today there is maximum changes that is happening in this business because of the disruptions brought about by technology, and that makes this business a lot more attractive for young graduates, so that they have much more choices beyond just operations. So you can look at operations, you can look at technology enablement, you can look at planning, and even you can look at forecasting or predicting. So there are incredible opportunities that supply chain and logistics brings forth because of the disruption of today's post-COVID environment, as well as technology that has brought into the overall industry.
From the business point of view, Ms. Nadia, what is your advice for the new entrepreneurs or for the individuals who are looking to build a career in this freight and logistic industry?
As mentioned also by Mr. Gopal, because of the technology and the technology-driven new ideas that make our business more attractive, more efficient, I would say, for newcomers, it will attract more youngsters into the industry, IT-savvy individuals, and people now realize the importance of supply chain logistics and what pivotal role it plays in the community, and also as a business. It's a crucial business. Any kind of business you use, you will need that. So it's a profitable business, it's a growing business. Yes, maybe different things might change. Technology will drive it more. We were connected. You see a lot of growth in e-commerce, a lot of business coming into last mile delivery, and corporates using technology. And because of what happened during the COVID, most companies implemented more softwares and digitalized their services. So I see it as a growing industry. Youngsters will get into this industry, and our role as people, business owners or heading associations, is to make it more attractive and showcase the benefits of the industry and how to set up an industry and how to save on costs when you set up a license, where are the best places to set up a startup, and connect them to the supporting offices by the government who support startups. So there are a lot of initiatives across the UAE. We will be also connecting them if they need to be connected to startup organizations, fintechs, etc. We will be doing that, but it is a growing industry. Dimensions are changing. The use of technology is enhancing that and attracting more people into the industry. And a lot of people are even working from home. Thanks to what happened to COVID, people are more flexible. So they get time to spend at home and still manage their business. They don't have to be physically in one place. And thanks also to our government, which has the single window, such as Dubai Trade, Maqta' Gateway, to manage all the operations and documentation online. So you are able to be in different locations while managing that.
Thank you. Thank you for the update, for the advice.
Thank you.
And finally, a final question for you. Actually, the thing is, world knows that women's have power, and especially during 2023, it's really important for us to know a successful woman like Nadia Abdul Aziz, who has been working very hard working since years in this field, which is very alien for any woman to work on, and leading an association, being a president of NAFL. Not only that, you're working as a vice president in international federations also. So how did you achieve this in a short period of time? And being a woman, it was a very difficult task, what we believe. But from your perspective and from your experience, you could share something that being a woman, how could you, you have become a role model for all the women out there who are yet to come into the industry or struggling in the industry or are working in the industry. So what is your message for that, and what about what is your perspective on that?
See, women play an integral role. Of course, also taking care of the house and the kids is very important. It is also part of multitasking. But if you're into a career and you're looking at a career, in the UAE, I know there is tremendous support. A lot of support and a big push from His Highness and all the government entities to empower women. We are one of the countries, maybe the only country maybe, to have women establishment office as a government office to empower, to train women, to connect women. We have legislation saying we need to have 20% of women, qualified women, on boards. National Council, 50% exactly are women. So there's big support, and the time is right for the women. Now, if you have the right education, you will be able to enter the logistics field. Yes, it is a male-driven industry, but nonetheless, women are good in the logistics. They are already doing multitasking, using their daily lives at home. So it's a good industry, but you need to be committed. You need to organize your priorities. And there are associations like WISTA, Women in Logistics and Transport, to support women in the industry that they should be connected to, which will connect them on a global scale and support them in terms of training, mentorship, programs, etc. So I'm also involved in Women in Logistics and Transport, part of the Chartered Institute of Transport and Logistics UK. They work in more than 36 countries, and we do have a lot of women empowerment training, coaching programs, online, face to face, across board. So getting connected is good. Getting the education and being confident, but you need to be dedicated to your job. And it's a growing industry, so some industries may be saturated. You may not find jobs in certain industries, but logistics, there's always space, there's always growth, there's always demand. People are still looking for qualified, young, fresh, graduates who are going to change, add positive value to their organization. And I don't see a difference between women and men. I just think you need to be dedicated and focused on your job. And I didn't get there very short. I worked for more than 16 years in the organization as a board member for many years, secretary general, and then I became president. So it came gradual. I had to prove to the people on the board, being the only woman initially, that yes, I'm capable of delivering. And sometimes you have to over-deliver so that people understand, yes, you are serious about what you're doing, especially if you're a woman in a male industry, yes.
We had a beautiful interview with Miss Nadia Abdul Aziz. She is the president of NAFL, National Association for Freight and Logistics, as well as we had a good session with Gopal R, who is a global leader of supply chain and logistic advisory. Thank you for being with us. Air cargo update. Thanks once again.
Thank you.